Again, this is hopefully my last drama video ever. Hopefully. I don't want to do these anymore. I get anxiety. I can't eat. I can't sleep. They're bad. Okay, let's get that out of the way. Anyone appearing in this video, anyone I use, does not condone me. They are not saying I'm a good person. They're not saying anything like that, okay? I understand lots of people have issues with me, and I'm not saying by making this video I should be looked better on. I'm not saying I should be unbanned or anything like that. I don't think anyone will think better of me for this video. I just want to make this video because I really hate liars, and a very disturbing situation unfolded in front of me. So the best way to set up this video is that I received information on Stevens a while ago, and kind of sat on it because I just don't want to be involved in drama anymore. You can say that that makes me a weak person. I say I just don't want to be involved in drama anymore. But here is, this is Karasmai's editor. Let me read these messages. This is what sparked this whole thing. It was not me randomly getting jealous, randomly getting upset, anything like that, okay? None of that happened. In fact, this is what happened. He messages me and says, "Yo, you're cringe as fuck. I didn't get a third pick. XD. I say, haha, my dude, it's obviously a catfish. Now, this guy had been inting me and trying to use his girlfriend to catfish me. Karasmai's editor, okay? So, not some random dude, okay? He says, no, she's my girlfriend. I say, she let in real early. She's a friend of someone I know is an idiot. He says, yeah, I'm friends with Timby too. I inted you that one night on a muumuu. At least Stevens Jacks had the decency to rethink his decisions about being a disgusting pedo and came back different. Now, this, you can see I said what, and I'm just going to shoot this part. But basically, this dude had been inting me, who was trying to catfish me, came at me with this. I didn't seek out to do anything at all, ever, at any point. At no point at any stage had this happened. In fact, this story really shouldn't even be about me. I'm just a data gatherer. I will not issue my opinion on anyone or the situation. I'm just going to tell you what happened, and I'm going to tell you what I think. Okay. Now, that's what sparked this situation. Now, I told the dude basically that I'd been sitting on this information, and hey, Stevens really isn't that great. And honestly, you're editing for a dude. You're hating on me for being a pedo, despite the fact I had the FBI knock on my door. But whatever, fine. And, you know, I basically said, look, you're editing for a dude who's enabling one. That's what I said. He's enabling one. Let me just clarify that. I'm not saying Karasmai is a pedophile. I don't think he's ever touched an underage girl to my knowledge. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is that his actions directly are supporting and enabling one to continue to prosper within the community. That he's lying to you all publicly. Most of us know it, but no one really wants to say anything about it. But I think I have a weird enough story for this. Now, I sent the information, which included a dick pic of Stevens that he had sent to a 16-year-old girl this year. Not last year, not 2 years ago, not long overdue, okay? This happened this year. Now, I sent that to his editor, and then I went to talk to a friend of theirs because I was kind of pissed off at this, that this dude had been inting me, right? He'd been inting me, and now he's trying to catfish me, and it was just kind of a waste of my time. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm going to look into this situation. Maybe I'll expose this whole thing, right? Now, Karasmai got told by his editor. Now, Karasmai told Stevens. Now, I want you guys to understand this, okay? At this point, the only information I've sent is privately, never publicly, privately. I have messaged 2 people that Stevens was still doing shit, and I might look into it. That was it. Karasmai came out with this video declaring that all evidence was fake, that I was a terrible person, that, you know, I was coming out for him, that I had said this and that and the next thing. Well, okay. But at this stage, I was I went to the girl, and this is where it gets really dumb. I was on call with her and her mom and her sister, and this is when the situation started getting so stupid you won't believe that these people have managed to get away with this stuff for so long. It gets dumber and dumber, I promise you. Now, um, let me just. I'm not going to show anything yet because I need to keep you guys in the right state of mind. At this point, I have not publicly shared anything. They have publicly said that all information I have is fake, right? That, oh, well, I said everything about me was a lie, so everything about them is a lie, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so here are my messages with Stevens. I'm going to start here, okay? I'm highly considering taking legal action. Now, let me just be clear. Publicly, he has declared that all this information is false, and then privately, he has started to consider taking legal action. Okay, that's fine. Legal action for what? Of course. Now, libel, slander, those would be things if this information was fake, correct? But what does he decide that he wants to sue me with? He says, do you really want me to make this case? You can't really threaten me, man. I say, threaten you? Why is this all about you? He says, the offense of disclosing private sexual images without consent, known as revenge porn, was introduced in 2015 and carries a maximum sentence in 2 years. I suggest you stop threatening me with imagery and leave me alone. Stop sending pictures of Stevens to me and my boss. Now, just to be clear, images of Stevens. He has now said this is of Stevens. In other words, this is true. I'd also like to note, for all the people who watch him on stream, for all the people who watched his video, boy, this was a few minutes after his video, wasn't it? And far from being the dim-witted simpleton who's down on life and hard, he sure does know a lot about the law and threatening people with the law, especially as it pertains to the distribution of people's genitals and threatening people to not distribute them. In other words, he seems like he's been in this situation before, doesn't it? I say, all right, now it's about you. He's now threatened me legally. He says, now it's about me. I say, yes, you're threatening me legally. He says, I'm not threatening you. I'm saying what you're doing is illegal. I say, in the obvious attempts to get me to not talk about the Stevens thing. He says, question mark. I say, while defending Stevens and attacking me publicly. He says, you can talk about whatever you want, LOL. I didn't say you can't say anything. I said, stop sending me pictures of Stevens because what you're doing is illegal. And you sent multiple people now, and I have screenshots of them all. I say, are you really doing this? You're actually going to make me go back to my lawyer to say I have to defend myself for this? Like, really? He says, it's your choice to stop or not stop. You can stop right now, man. I'm telling you what you're doing is illegal. What you've done is illegal. If you continue to do so, why would I not contact authorities? Check Texas state laws. Boy, this guy sure does seem different in private, doesn't he? Huh. He seems a lot more intelligent, especially as it pertains to law in this specific area. I say, I will actually take 2 years in prison if you're going to try to use revenge porn laws to defend your friend harassing underage girls with dick pics and jerk-off vids. Yes. He says, I'm not defending him for that. I don't know where the pictures came from. I'm saying you spreading them is illegal. I have no clue where the pictures came from. You're sending them without context, and I have all the proof to show that. Well, the context was it was sent to a 16-year-old girl. Just to be clear. I said, dude, everything was logged and screenshotted. Do you want to talk to the girl he's been harassing? Now, at this point, I said, do you want to talk to her? Like, maybe you don't understand what's going on. Do you want to talk to her? He says, okay, that's something I'll let you and Steven settle. I'm not standing up for him, or am I defending him? I'm saying if you continue illegal activity, I will take proper measures to see that you stop. Just to be clear, the illegal activity here was sending the DMs of Steven sending his dick pic to a 16-year-old girl. That is the illegal activity he wants to stop. Okay. I said, you posted a vid, you defended him, you're trying to use the law to defend him right now. This is where you want to be. He says, I'm not defending him, I'm defending the actions you're using against him. Okay. I said, dude, I literally have the girl, like, in the DM right below this one. Once again, I'm kind of trying to be like, yo, dude, like, we don't have to fight about this. Like, you want to talk to her? He says, okay, like I said, settle it with him. Any issues you had with me are over. so I have no further comments on this situation. I said, all right, tell Stevens you made this legal. That's not going to be a fun conversation. Just to be clear, if Karasmai was to try to sue me for revenge porn, now, it wouldn't actually be him suing me. You would have to have Stevens sue me. But if Stevens sued me, it would very quickly come up the question, where did I get these pictures? Now, that would not fit very well legally, would it? Because very quickly the police would go, oh, we seem to have a much more important case to take care of than this one. But okay, so at this point, you guys have not seen anything, right? Nobody in this video has seen any proof, right? At this stage, they have publicly said that this is all untrue, that nothing is true. Privately, they have tried to get me to stop any and all attempts to get this information out there, okay? Can't send these DMs, can't show anyone. Okay, that's fine. But boy, this starts to look really suspicious. And importantly, this looks like they've been here before. That's my personal opinion on the matter. It really felt like he had been here before and threatened other people. And I'm a dumbass, and when people threaten me, I go further. But let's go. Now, this is where it gets important. Now, I had been on the call with this girl, right? I've been on the call with this girl and her mom and her sister, and I've been talking about this situation with them, right? At this point, through no contact with Stevens, and I'll prove that right here. Here's our Twitter messages at my Discord, okay? Here are all our messages right here. Even ends it with, hello, can you respond? What's going on and why are you doing this? I have not contacted him. I've not sent him a word. I've not typed a letter to him, okay? Now, that is important because I want you to understand here. I want you to understand that nothing has been done from me to contact Stevens other than to tell people that he had sent his dick pic to a 16-year-old. Everybody understand this. Now, this is where I want to call it stupid gate begins to happen. Stevens then starts messaging this girl and others. Is Hashinshin talking about you in his post? What is he saying? Do you know? Because I don't, but I can't tell who he's talking about. Now, let's just be clear. Sent a dick pic to a 16-year-old girl, and you can't tell who he's talking about. 16-year-old girl, this year, you can't tell who he's talking about. The context of this is that there are multiple, and he can't figure out which one. Okay. I'm not going to show the rest of the snap messages. That's a pretty good one on its own. But I'll show, I think this is the last one. That's what happened when you talk to ugly girls. Steven says, it was 3 years ago. She says, but she was. He says, what can I do? She says, still ugly. What the fuck? I seen her. Steven says, she was 14. I don't know. I legit don't know. But let me ask you something. Do you hate me or hold grudge? Like, that's out of context. I wanted to ask you last week, to be honest. Why would she hate him or hold a grudge? Another interesting question. Another interesting question. I do believe that maybe there's a bit of a grudge held for the past. Now, let's go on. This is where this shit starts getting super dumb. I started to look into this now, at this point, in more detail. I started to ask people around. I started to do stuff, and this is when it went on Twitter. Now, this whole Rory story, you might be wondering to yourself, well, she could be lying. That could be any Stevens. He could be making this whole up. But then I get messaged on Twitter. Can you unblock my fan? He's a huge... can you unblock my friend? He's a huge fan. Also, here's some information about Stevens Jax. I say, all right, hope you're not trolling me. He says, when I've ever. Now, if you guys know that icon, that dude is decently known on Twitter. Not a random dude. Once again, nobody here supports me, condones me, whatever. I'm just information gathering, all right? Now, this guy corroborates the information that I've gotten from Rory herself. I say, hey, what's up? Now, remember, I've not told these people what information I have. They've had no contact with Rory, okay? They have come to me on their own volition, and I believe that is pretty damning when it comes to, yeah, this shit's out there. I say, hey, what's up? He says, hey, saw your tweets, and I've known about Stevens for a while, and I have videos just as you do. About a year ago, one of my acquaintances had an interaction with Stevens where he sent multiple vids of him jerking off in front of a mirror and snapped it to her. She was 15 at the time. I don't talk to her anymore, however, on Instagram is Rory. However, I still have the videos she gave me. I can send once I'm home. Now, I didn't get those videos. Rory had saved them. I won't show them, but this is a very good example of independent verification. These people, who I have not asked for this, have now told me that yes, they've seen this too. And they've seen this because Rory exposed Stevens last year. So, far from Karasmai's video where he says, what was it?
Being bipolar, split personality.
Oh, hold on, let me find it. It's
similar, like how Stevens has been, in my opinion. A lot of bad things. I don't want to be there to support them. I don't want to be their friend. I don't want to be a part of that. But if they're willing to better themselves and move forward, similar, like how Stevens has been, in my want to be a part of that. But if they're willing to better themselves and move forward, similar, like how Stevens has been, in my.
So we know that last year he sent dick pics and jerk off vids to this girl. We know this year. I'll actually, at this point, I will show you some proof. Okay, so here is the girl. Here's Stevens. Okay, generous. Here's date May 4th. Okay, so last year he did it. He got exposed for it. People remember it. This year he did it again. Has Stevens bettered himself? It's interesting because Karasmai knows in private that that was a dick pic from Stevens. He said so himself. We know it happened on the May 4th. I sent them that timestamp. Stevens himself went to the girl and asked if it was her that leaked it. At this point, there's pretty much enough circumstantial evidence that anyone could be able to tell what happened here, correct? Now, this is where I start to really dig into this. Now, Karasmai said this, okay? Let me go back.
Part of that, but if they're willing to better themselves and move forward, similar, like how Stevens has been, in my.
Do you understand that he's supporting Stevens while this is going on, while he knows it's going on? And I know that because I literally told him and showed him, and he said it was Stevens, and it was a 16-year-old girl. And then he made this video. Well, I talked to him afterwards, but he knew beforehand where I had gotten that picture. Oh. Now, this was not... Okay, let me just be clear. In addition to random people on the internet knowing that this had happened, Stevens had bioed her in the past. So this was not some little thing that you could just overlook and maybe not know about it, okay? Like, prominent people knew what was happening. Now, I'm going to send you a quote here. This is a audio log that Stevens had sent this girl that she had recorded, and let's listen to this.
Okay, what happened?
I did my best to transcribe it.
I was like,
Whoops.
I was like really high off edible, and then I looked at my computer, and I was like, holy fuck, I have some fucked up shit in my computer. And I was really high, like I took way too much. Like, I don't know, I took so much, you have no idea. And then I was like having some kind of like panic attack because I was thinking about all the like underage shit that I was computer. Please come to where because I have like a bad like past in real life. So I was scared, you know, in my head, like police, if they come, they have like all reasons to look in my room, you know, because I have a really bad past in real life with like stuff. So
Oh boy, he really did change, didn't he? Here, let's put these side by side, okay?
I was like having some kind of like panic attack because I was thinking about all the fucked up like underage shit that I have on my computer, and it's like.
But if they're willing to better themselves and move forward, similar, like how Stevens has been, in my.
I was like having some kind of like panic attack because I was thinking about all the fucked up like underage shit that I have on my computer, and it's like.
Move forward, similar like how Stevens has been, in my opinion.
I was like having some kind of like panic attack because I was thinking about all the fucked up like underage shit that I have on my computer, and it's like
So, okay. There's one last thing I want to talk about. People will say that Karasmai and Steven weren't friends. Of course, they weren't friends, and now they were friends. And maybe Karasmai doesn't know, but I asked a girl, and she's got her own controversy, we all do, but I asked her, because this is what I was doing the past few days, I asked her, I said, look, I asked her a question. I said, I think they played some games together, stuff like that, nothing remarkable, they seem to just be good friends. Did something happen, or what? I say, what I really want to know is if Dylan was unaware of anything going on with Stevens like he pretends to be, or if he knew and what time period you guys had contact. She says, I won't talk about Stevens, but what, lol? Of course Dylan knew. As far as I'm concerned, they were really fucking close. Of course Dylan would know what Stevens does. And it was late 2019. I literally just told you, October if you want to be precise. So, last year, Stevens was exposed, people knew. Late last year, they were still friends, Karasmai and Stevens. Early this year, he was still at it, still sending dick pics to minors, okay?
I don't want to be a part of that, but if they're willing to better themselves and move forward, similar like how Stevens has been, in my
And I think that about says enough. I'll put in a quote from the girl. But he is a literal pedophile. He sent me child porn, told me he would like me if I was 14 still, etc. I said, contacting a few girls so the truth of what he actually did gets posted. Now, other girls have come forward and other girls have talked about this. I'm not going to include them for now because I am not actually going to pass judgment here, actually. Those are the facts. That's what happened. This was the situation that unfolded. Karasmai went ahead and just lied for 12 minutes about this whole thing. Here's what I've been recording, looking up, screenshotting, etc. in these past few days. I've all been saying this. Once again, I don't think this is going to be unbanned. It's not why I did this. I wasn't jealous or anything like that, no. Really what set it off was Karasmai's editor inting me and trying to catfish me and then saying those nasty things to me in private. Karasmai making his video first off was another big setup because the dude just lied for 12 minutes. I fucking hate liars. And the last set off was kind of a moral one where I realized, like, look, okay, if I have proof this shit's still happening, like, maybe despite what everyone will think about me, maybe I should do something, say something. And, so I'm not going to pass judgment. Actually, I'm not going to say anything other than that. There's the proof. That's what happened. I don't want to be involved in this anymore, okay? I don't. And the way I'm going to try to disinvolve myself in this whole situation and not be involved in this drama anymore is by saying and reminding people that when the FBI visited me over my accusations, okay, and I'm no longer under investigation, and obviously I'm not arrested, so make of that what you will, they left me a contact card. And if there are threats, if there continue to be threats, if you threaten anyone who talks about this, the girls involved, if anyone gets threatened, I do have a contact card, and some of this stuff on a zip would look pretty fucking bad to an FBI agent. And I don't want to be involved. I'm not passing judgment, but I, of course, do protect people who, of course, come forward to talk about these things, who I don't believe should be harassed, I don't believe should be threatened, and that's all I have to say. It's not a threat, really. That's more of a promise to do, I guess, the right thing if you do the wrong thing. Okay, so that's all I have to say. Once again, I'm actually just going to end it like this because I'm not passing judgment. I'm just giving you guys the information. I will now disassociate myself and get out of this drama, and that's that. So, thank you, everybody.